Yeah, don't recommend getting COVID. It's not very nice. But I think they're just so gorgeous. And one of them actually fell in love with me. Like double knit in like a khaki colour. I'm really into the khaki colour at the moment. I don't really know why. Hiya and welcome back to Knitting with Betty. It's been a while because you know last time I said that I was really busy and had lots and lots of things going on. Well, I went and got COVID right in the middle of it, didn't I? So for I think it was pretty much 2 weeks straight, I didn't do very much because I just felt so awful. And so all of my projects have sort of been put to the side, and I think for the first 5 days of COVID, I didn't do anything because I was just sleeping the whole time and couldn't even look at knitting or crochet. But then I did try and pick up my crochet when I felt a little bit better on sort of the 6th or 7th day. But I wasn't really, not exactly paying attention. Like I couldn't be bothered to count basically. And it's kind of an important part of crochet that you actually count the stitches so that it works. So I'll show you my crochet later from when I had COVID and it went a bit wrong. But yeah, I was a bit poorly, so I haven't started my Susan Crawford knit along project, which is very naughty of me, and I actually had to have a week off work because I couldn't do any work whatsoever. I was so miserable with COVID, and it's the first time I've had COVID, so I was quite not surprised, I guess, but it was nasty. Like I would not recommend it to anyone. And like each day I got a new weird symptom. So like one day I had a runny nose, and then that kind of went away, and the next day I would have like headaches, and it was really odd. And I had like a temperature, but it wasn't like a normal temperature. I just felt like hot and clammy the whole time, and like I didn't get the cold bits. I just felt like really warm and clammy, and then normal, and then warm and clammy again. It was very, very odd. But yeah, I would not recommend getting it. But I suppose it wasn't really that bad when you consider that COVID was killing people at first. Like I was quite lucky that I got off with it so lightly. But yeah, don't recommend getting COVID. It's not very nice. So I haven't really done that much knitting, or as much as I'd like anyway. I have finished my Tyrolean sweater. Actually, what shall I go with first? Let me have a look at my notebook. So one thing that I did, I was looking for something else. I can't for the life of me remember what it was now, but I was looking for something upstairs amongst all my bits, and I found my first ever vintage knitting project, which I haven't finished. So it's on straight needles. This is before I went to circular needles, and it's like half done. So I think this pattern was a free pattern that I found on the internet, and it is just a really basic knit that you knit from the bottom all up the front and then over the shoulders and down the back. So it's quite a simple shape as well. It's like almost like a crop sleeved top with like a square neckline, so it's quite simple, but it's got this wonderful sort of basket weave pattern, which I'm pretty impressed with how even that is. So this would have been, gosh, probably about 15 years ago. So I think I was about like 21, that sort of age. And I've only got this much yarn left. I don't know if I've got this colour actually upstairs somewhere. I don't think I have another ball of this. but I'm really hoping that one day over the rainbow I might be able to finish it. But yeah, I thought I would show you my first ever vintage knit, and I got the pattern online from, it was just like a free pattern, but because it was so long ago I don't actually remember where I got it from, or like who it's by. So I know it was a free one because, you know, I'm a cheapskate, but yeah, I don't know, like if I had to find it again on the internet I probably wouldn't, but I think I do have in a folder somewhere that the paper pattern that I printed off, and if I don't have that then it might be on my old, would it be on like my old laptop, like 2 laptops ago, which I probably still have floating around upstairs somewhere. But hopefully I'll be able to find the pattern, but if not, it is pretty simple. Just this basket weave type repeat of pearls and knits. So I'll just have to count, and then you do like a whole row of knits to sort of get this separate lines of the basket weave. Let me get that out of the way, there we go. So it should be quite easy to count how many stitches there are so that I can try and finish it without a pattern. But yeah, my first ever vintage knit, and I love the colour. It's a pretty lilac-y colour, so I thought I'd show you that. I did put it up on my community tab, so apologies if you've already seen this before, but I just was excited that I found my first ever knit, vintage knit that is. So that's that piece that I found. Then I have blocked and finished my, well, not finished because I haven't sewn it together, but my Tyrolean jacket. So I blocked the body out, which has evened up the sort of diamondy pattern nicely. So that's the front and back, and these are the button bands that you have to sew on afterwards. So that goes down the middle, which I think these colours together are just so perfect. They're really beautiful. And so then I've got to embroider all the little flowers on, so that's going to take quite a time. But these are the sleeves, which look crazy because they're so sort of wide. They go from really sort of quite wrist hugging to fabulously wide. So they're going to be gloriously puffy. So that will be really exciting to see how those turn out. But yeah, I have to obviously sew those in as well. Sew up their side seams. So it's kind of finished, but obviously got all just the finishing off bits to do really. But I've had to put everything aside because I, in my wisdom, at my busiest time of year, decided that I would knit my mother a jumper for Christmas. And until about a week ago I hadn't started it yet, which was fun. I have now started it, and it is, what's the date? It is the 18th of November, so I've got a good month. God, throwing my phone about. Let's see how many weeks I've actually got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I've got 5 weeks and 2 days to finish it, which might just about get it done. But my mum had sort of obviously sees me knitting all the time, and she asked if I'd knit her a jumper. I was like, yeah, okay then. And then it was my idea to knit it in time for Christmas, so it's kind of my own fault that I'm like rushing at the last minute to try and get her present done. But oh, the other thing, when I last chatted with you, I was just about to go on another knitting retreat, and so I've now done that and come back from it, and that was a good few weeks ago. That was before I had COVID, so probably like a month ago now that I went on that. Yeah, it was mid-October, I think. It's crazy how fast time goes, but it was a fantastic knitting retreat that I went on. So I have mentioned quite a few times that I have a friend who's a knitting teacher, and she put together this knitting retreat. And the first one that she did is like it was a test run, really, to see how it went and like what the interest in things like that was. And we went to a house just outside of Tiverton in Devon. So that was about an hour and a half away from where I live. And yeah, it was great fun. So we went on a trip on the first day. We went to UK Alpaca. So I will pop up some photos of all the alpacas because they were amazing. And we got to cuddle an alpaca and have a photo taken with an alpaca, and then obviously shop in their yarn afterwards. But unfortunately they didn't have the yarn I wanted in stock. They'd sold out of it. So I have a jumper that I bought 2 years ago in LA. So I went to LA. I don't know if have I told you this story before, but I went to LA in 2022 at Christmas time, and I went with my sister, and she told me that it was going to be like 25 degrees Celsius, so I packed all summer stuff. When we got there it was only 15 degrees Celsius, so I had to go out and buy some like winter clothes for being in LA because I'd packed like summery dresses and things. And I went into Uniqlo, and like I didn't think I was a Uniqlo person at all, because like I like vintage kind of dressed. I dress vintage style when I can, sort of thing. So I thought, oh, I won't find anything in here. Actually, I found this really gorgeous, it's almost like a 60s type sweater. And I wear this quite a lot, but it has not aged well. So it's really pilly, and it's looking a bit sad and a bit worse for wear. You can't really see it on this camera, to be honest, but you can see all the pills. It's just a bit sad. So I want to like transfer this pattern onto like graph paper and like figure it out and re-knit it, but in like more quality yarn, so that it doesn't look quite so threadbare. So this was actually, I think this is, yeah, it uses 29% recycled polyester. Oh, it's got 8% wool in it. I did not know that. So I think I've sort of talked before about recycled polyester, that my mum's had jumpers made of recycled polyester and it does not wear well. And this is not, well, I suppose it's 2 years old. Like, fast fashion's not meant to last that long, is it? Really, I guess. But I really love the style of it. Like I say, it's like that kind of 60s kind of look. And when I'm just like feeling a bit sorry for myself, but just put on like a cozy jumper, a bit like this one. I didn't knit this one, by the way. It's just like a really nice cozy jumper to have, so I want to knit that one again. So I was looking for like a chunky yarn, because this is what this is made from. But so the thing about UK Alpaca is they're pretty much the only sort of large scale alpaca farm in the UK. They breed alpacas and sell a lot to other people, but it does mean that there's only a very small amount of alpacas in the UK, and their unique selling point is that all of their yarn is made from UK alpacas. So once like it's all collected in a year and spun into yarn, that's it for the year. So they have to wait till the next year to get new stocks in, and they did like a trial run almost of chunky yarn, and well, I think they were quite surprised how well it went. So but it does mean that most of the colours of that yarn are sold out, and they're kind of I think they call it parchment, they're white kind of yarn in the chunky range was out of stock, so I couldn't get my sweater's worth of alpaca yarn, which was really sad. They also did this beautiful, they called it speckledy yarn, and it's instead of it coming from a white alpaca base, which gives you the solid colours when they're dyed, they have a base that's like made up of all the different coloured alpacas, and when it's dyed it means that like some of the darker yarns don't take the dye and some of the lighter yarns take the dye more, so you get a kind of speckled, kind of tweedy almost coloured yarn. And they had a beautiful green one that was almost like a khaki green, that was a really beautiful colour, but they didn't have that either because they'd all sold out. So next year I think they plan on either they'll do the chunky yarn again, or instead of the chunky yarn they'll do an Aran weight. So yeah, keep your eye out for that, but that won't be until probably October next year, because as well as like seeing the alpacas, we did like a mini tour of their sorting room, and from shearing the animals and collecting all the yarn in, they then have to grade it and sort it into all the different grades of yarn. So there's only 2 of them in this farm, by the way, that run it, and so it's all done by hand, and usually by one person, Rachel, who looks after the alpacas. And once they've graded it all, now the stuff that's not yarn ready, they send to people who make like duvets out of alpacas. So if you have an alpaca duvet from the UK, it's more or less guaranteed to be from their animals or from them. But the yarn quality fibre, they put into these big bales and suck out all the air, and they get like, what's it called, hydraulically pressed into a little parcel, and then those parcels are shipped off to the spinners. And it was really interesting to hear that they have to get the alpaca yarn spun in Italy because they can't get it spun in the UK, because all the UK machines are set up to spin wool, which is a very different beast to alpaca yarn. And so the UK is great for if you want to get wool spun, because that's what we've always made, kind of thing. But alpaca is not our speciality area, and so none of the machineries are set up to spin such a fluffy or fine grade yarn. So they have to send it to Italy, and then so it's sent to Italy to be spun into cones, and I think they come back in like 500 gram, 5 kilogram cones of yarn. I think I took some pictures, so I'll do YouTube magic and put some pictures in the background. So they come back in the raw state, so it's a white yarn or natural coloured yarn, and then after that it has to go and then be dyed in the various different colours. So long story short, all of that process from when the animals are sheared in, I think it's about April time, is it, or something like that, until the finished product where it's dyed and ready for sale and put into hanks or balls, it takes quite a while. So it probably about the end of summer, sort of August, September time, that year's yarn is ready. So they probably won't have the chunky stuff again until sort of next 2025, September 2025, about then. But obviously if they get it in sooner, I will let you know. But yeah, if you want to go and see what they do, go to their website. I will pop all the details down in the description box for you, so you can go and give them some love. But yeah, I thought it was a really interesting trip to learn about all of their animals and how silly they are, because alpacas are very shy animals. So they had a cat at the UK alpaca farm, and this cat went into the alpaca enclosure, and these silly alpacas were like, oh, what is that? And they were all crowding around. It was so cute. I took a video of it, so I'll definitely pop that up. But yes, they are very timid animals, but I think they're just so gorgeous. And one of them actually fell in love with me, like the group that we went with. So we had one lady on the trip who didn't want to go to the alpaca farm because she doesn't like knitting with alpaca because it stretches so much, and she just doesn't like animals, basically. She was like, oh, they're horrible things, they like spit on you and everything. And so like she told me like all these stories about like alpacas spit on you. So this like alpaca was getting close to my face and I was like, oh my god, is it going to spit on me? No, it just loved me, that's all. So I got a little alpaca kisses on my cheek, which was cute. But anyway, so unfortunately I didn't get any yarn from them, which was sad. But I did like, they had a double knit in like a khaki colour. I'm really into the khaki colour at the moment, I don't really know why. That I might buy, but I didn't have a project in mind, so I didn't want to buy it then and there, because it's double knit and I don't knit a lot of double knit, so I need to find a specific pattern for it before I buy it. So yeah, that was disappointing not coming out with any alpaca, because I love alpaca yarn, it's yummy. But that was the first day trip. Then the second day we went into Tiverton itself, and there's an amazing yarn shop called Timeless. Is it just called Timeless or Timeless Knitting? And it was just amazing. It's one of those shops that you walk into and you are just overwhelmed by the sheer amount of yarn and the colours and the beauty of it all. I think we could have spent a lot longer in there. I don't think we saw everything because there was just so much to see. But it was one of those shops that really inspires you, because there were loads of samples of knitting out, and there were loads of ready-made knits as well that that you could buy, so like Fair Isle sweaters and cardigans, and I think there were even some like Irish kind of Aran cardigans and sweaters and things. But it was absolutely amazing, and there was just so many yarns in there that some I'd heard of, some I hadn't. Like they had a whole range of Isaga yarns, which I was quite excited about because I hadn't seen them up close and personal. And I did buy yarn this time. So I had my mum's Christmas sweater in mind. So I will pop a picture up of the sweater I'm knitting her. Bing! Bing! Which I saw on Instagram, as I see most of my projects it seems. And I just thought it was a really pretty design. And it's kind of Christmassy in its design. I think it is called the Christmas sweater. But it's not so Christmassy that you couldn't wear it the rest of the year. So yeah, I'm pretty much going to make her wear it all the time because it's taken so much time for me to knit it that she's got to appreciate it and wear it all year round. So I yeah, it's by a designer called Hanne. Now I want to call her Rimmen, but I don't think that is her last name. Bear with, guys, bear with. Let's have a look. Rimmen. Hanne Rimmen. And I think she's Norwegian, yeah. No, Danish. Ooh. So she's got some really beautiful designs. Where's the one that I saw the other day that I really want to knit now? Oh, here it is. This one is a really gorgeous sort of autumn inspired one. Ooh, can you see that? It's like wheat sheaves. How do you say that? I don't know. I just thought that was really beautiful, and the burgundy colour I think is really pretty, and it's on like an oatmeal-y kind of background. So yeah, I thought I might knit that one maybe next autumn for like harvest festival time. But yeah, her designs are really pretty, and she does like the very traditional sort of knitted from the top down kind of Scandi knits. So I had to get yarn for this knit from the shop that I went into. So for the green, I went off plan. I didn't buy what the pattern suggested because it used it used Issachar something or other, and I didn't like the feel of it. It was really quite rough, and I wanted to make something really warm but really soft for my mum. So for the green, I am using Lang yarns, which I've not used before, Merino 120, which is superwash, which, I mean, I won't, my mum, I will make her hand wash it because I don't want her to shrink it after all the work that's gone into it. But so that's that green, and no, it doesn't have a colour name, it's just a colour number. And then I'm holding that with this, which is 5 of Spades Cumulus in moss. But again, it's that kind of khaki kind of colour, isn't it, that I'm obsessed with at the moment. But when you hold the two together, it's really, really pretty. So that's for the colour work at the top. And then for the main body, again, I'm using Lang Merino 120 Superwash, and that's a merino. You can't really see that the light blanches it out. And then I'm holding it with this beautiful cumulus. This is in pearl, which I guess it is kind of that pearly colour, but it's kind of got quite a almost purpley pink tinge to it. And when held with this, it's really beautiful, because this cream is quite it's quite stark, but when you hold it together with this, it really tones it down and makes it a lot softer. So I got my sweater's worth, and I'll just have to say, when I agreed to knit my mother a jumper, I did not realise how much it was going to cost me. So it's like a joint Christmas and birthday present for her now, and her birthday is in April. But I will have it done for Christmas, hopefully. So, to show you how far I've got, I mean, I love these top-down kind of sweaters. I mean, it's very similar to my my Halloween sweater that I knitted, that it's just so quick to knit, and it's really pleasing to do. And like, as you see the pattern unfurling, you just want to keep going more and more. So this is the start of it. So as you can see, I have started the colour work. So oddly, they make you cast on and then immediately start doing the colour work. Like, I could have technically like done the ribbing first, but then they make you knit the body and the sleeves and then pick up the stitches to knit the neck to do the ribbing, which I think is a really weird way of doing things. And like, why would you do that? Like, isn't it quicker to just knit the collar first and then the body? Anyway, and also I think from the pattern, the shaping, like the German short rows, are after the colour work, which I don't think I'm reading it incorrectly, which again I think is weird, because you would expect the short rows to be up here by the neckline. I don't know, but I was quite confused by the sizing on this, because I think it said there was about 12 centimetres of positive ease in this, and the sizing, like, I measured my mum, and apparently she's got a 40-inch bust, which we both kind of looked at the tape measure like, that can't be right. Like, my mum's quite petite, so I don't quite know how she has a 40-inch bust. So I'm knitting the large, but she's like, she's not a large. Like, she would, like, the biggest I thought she'd be would be a medium, but so I'm knitting the large. Maybe people in Scandinavia are smaller, but yeah, I don't know. So the neck does look absolutely massive. So what I might do is, when I'm picking up the stitches around the neck, I might like pick up 3 and then miss 1 stitch, pick up 3 and miss 1 stitch, just so that it brings the neck in a bit. Otherwise it's going to be like a boat neck. Anyway, but I'm nearly at the end of the colour work, and when I've finished the colour work, I'm going to take it off the needles, put it on one of those barber line things, and put it on her just to check to see what the fit's like. And if it's completely wrong, then hopefully I can bring it back somehow. But then the other option with the neck, because it is looking a bit wide, is I could pick up the stitches, as I said, missing out every third stitch or fourth stitch, and do the short rows up here to like get it to come in a bit. I don't know. Anyway, hopefully it will work out and not be too massive, but that is quite a lot of positive ease that they put on it, so maybe I should have knitted the medium. Anyway, we'll see how it goes, but yep, really enjoying it because it's colour work and it's just so addictive. But it's a really pretty design, and then you the red berries you sort of French knot on it afterwards, so still got a little bit of work to go, but really enjoying that one. So that's that knit. What else do I have to show you? And then the last thing that I have to show you is my crochet along that I've been working on. So I do need to start my Susan Crawford colour work knit. I've got to do the gauge swatch, and gauge swatches are like the most boring bit to do, aren't they, because you just want to get on with the knit, but they're so important, so to make sure that it's actually going to fit you. So because I had COVID, I haven't started it, but I will start it soon, I promise. But I just really want to get going on my Christmas knit for my mum and make sure that I'm actually going to have that done in time. Then I can start my knit for me. But the one thing I have been doing, I started this sort of mid-October, and this is the crochet along. Had I got this one done last time? I don't think I had. But so this is the gingerbread house in the middle square. This was week 1, and that was quite achievable. Week 2, which is where I am, and I haven't finished. This is when I got COVID, so this is the good one. So this is one of the sides, and this is called the Christmas jumper panel, because these stitches here are like knitted Christmas jumpers. But I love this design, it's just so fun to do. And then in the corners they have these peppermint swirls, which are beautiful. So I've done one, and I've done 2 of these. So the second one is the one that went a bit wrong. Is it this side or this side? Yeah, it's this side. Maybe it's not, maybe it's this one. Where's the one that went wonky? Oh no, it's this one. This one is the dodgy one. So because I wasn't counting, like I had way too many stitches at the end of here, so you can see there's like a big section here that I just have to square off when I'm joining all the panels together. Because yeah, I wasn't in the mood for counting. But yeah, these are really fun to do, and I love doing this like candy cane stripes. But so for week 2 it was supposed to be 2 in this colourway, and then 2 where you reverse the lighter green and the dark green, and then this candy cane is a pale pink and a pale pink and a pink. Do I have them here? So this is the pale pink. I think the darker pink is on top of my wardrobe. I won't get it, I can't be bothered. But so it's slightly different, and then you do 2 this colourway and 2 I think with the pink and the 2 pinks, and then this one is red. So yeah, I'm really behind. I think they're on week, I think what day are we Monday or Tuesday? On Wednesday this week the 5th week starts, and I have not finished week 2 yet. But again, like I say, I've got my mum's Christmas jumper to do, so that is what I'm working solely on at the moment, because I need to get that done in time for Christmas. I think once I've got that out of the way, I can relax a bit and start going back to my knit along and crochet along a bit more religiously. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to get this one done in time for Christmas, to be honest with you. But I recommend you go and look up the design because it's really pretty. And Knitsirdar knit alongs are really good. They're really well laid out and you know, each week you get a new part of the pattern, you get a video talking you through the whole of the stitches for that week, as well as a written pattern, so you can follow either the video or the written pattern, whichever sort of teaching way is best for you. So I think that is everything for the moment. I don't think I'll be really doing that much between now and Christmas, other than my mum's jumper. So I don't know if I'll do another, I probably will do another episode to show you my finished jumper, but whether or not it will be before Christmas I don't know. But I don't have many sort of like events and things lined up, like knitty events lined up, because it's just been so crazy busy. So yeah, I don't know when I'll see you again next, but I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and let me know in the comments what your first ever vintage knit was, and how it, like, have you finished it, and what does it look like, and was it successful? I'd really love to know what your first ever vintage knit was, like my first ever vintage knit. Let me get that one again. I just love this pattern, it's just so effective and it's so simple. The pattern repeat, beautiful, isn't it? Although this looks quite big, but I think it's meant to be that kind of like boxy style anyway. So this was before I did gauge swatches as well, so because we've all been there, haven't we? Like, why isn't it fitting? Oh yeah, I didn't do a gauge swatch. But anyway, yeah, this one's on hold for a while, so this won't be done before Christmas at all. Hopefully I can get that done. Maybe I'll do that like over the Christmas period, you know, there's like in-betweeny, betwixtmas I think they call it. Maybe I'll do that then, because then I can just sit in front of like Christmas telly and do the little embroidery flowers and sew it all together. But yeah, I've got lots of things on the go, just nothing quite finished yet. And maybe by next time I might have started my Susan Crawford knit, which technically I should be doing for like work anyway, but never mind, eh? I was ill, I had COVID. So yeah, pop in the comments your very first vintage knit, and I hope you have a lovely Christmas if I don't see you before then.